Law number 1, the law of irrationality. We think that we are rational, but we're not. In order to reach our full potential, we need to learn how we are when we irrational. So when you're angry or resentful, you need to ask yourself the question, why? Law number 2, the law of narcissism. When we look at the last couple of decades, we're rising in terms of narcissism. Everyone has a bit of narcissism, which is normal because of survival. So we can conclude healthy narcissism is a good thing. Be honest about your self-absorption and don't play dumb or being altruistic. Healthy narcissists are driven and focused on the outside world to make an impact. They listen to feedback, adapt, and recover quickly from failure. Law number 3, the law of role-playing. Humans act all the time. We wear a mask to get what we desire. As a baby, you can learn this. You want something, you cry for it, and you get it. Law number 4, the law of compulsive behavior. Character is the most important value to choose a partner. It matters more than just charm, intelligence, and charisma. A question would be, where does strong character come from? 1. Genes. 2. Parenting. 3. Mentoring and constant improvement. How do strong characters look like? They can take criticism and learn from it. They are fine with themselves and the position they currently have in society. How do weak people look like? Their environment determines their circumstances. They are slippery and evasive. You can test this by making a joke and see how they respond. Law number 5, the law of covetousness. Instead of focusing what you want, focus on what others want. On their repressed desires and fantasies. What you should offer should be new, unfamiliar, and exotic, or at least present as such. Law number 6, the law of short-sightedness. Make your decisions and choices irrespective and avoid new trends and shiny objects. Stick to what you start and prioritize based on your long-term goals. Law number 7, the law of defensiveness. As Carnegie says in How to Win Friends and Influence People, be interested to be interesting. Make others feel like they are the focus of attention. Robert Greene recommends to stop trying to push them. Instead, take a step back and assume an inferiority. Ask them for advice, make them feel good. Make a small favor for them, induce them to reciprocate. Don't remind them of favors you have done for them in the past. It doesn't make them feel grateful. It reminds them of the dependence on others, but we all want to feel independent. Instead, remind them of what they have done for you in the past. Confirm their self-opinion as good people. The law of self-sabotage. You are not a pawn, you're an active player. Mind and body are one. One influences the other. Don't see yourself limited by birth. Think that you can grow and improve. Law number 9, the law of repression. We all have a dark side, but most of us mask it. Greene uses Carl Jung terminology of the shadow, which exists in all of that what we try to deny of ourselves and that we regret. Denying and hiding, it causes a whole host of problems. Depression and anxiety come from not being our true selves. From always playing a role, we internalize all ideals of our culture, such as being nice and having pro-social values, which are often necessary for a smooth functioning in society. But in the process, it pushes a big part of our personality into a repressed corner that called the shadow. Greene instead welcomes the reader to include our dark side in who we are, to accept it and use it for the good to fuel us towards our goals. Law number 10, the law of envy. We all compare one with the other, and it rarely leads to a good result for us. Learn to develop your self-confidence from internal sources instead of comparisons, and deflect the envy by drawing attention away from you. We disguise our envy to ourselves because that would mean that we admit our inferiority. We blame instead the system, bad luck, unfairness, or an object of envy himself. Law number 11, the law of grandiosity. We all have a need to feel superior to others. But the more successful we get, the more superior we feel. And that creates a disconnect with reality that easily can become our downfall. Law number 12, law of gender rigidity. Greene says that we all tend towards the feminine or the masculine, but we have both. When people go too far in repressing their opposite gender within them, we will create a disbalance in ourselves. And often the people with internal conflicts who lean strongly towards one gender while trying to suppress the other. Greene says that the men especially tend to go towards the man's side. It's born out of a sense of insecurity. He says because of the possibility that the mom had to take care of them when they were fully dependent. The author invites the readers to embrace the opposite gender within us, which will unleash the double power, which will help us to better connect with each other. Law number 13, the law of aimlessness. Similar to what he recommends in Mastery, Greene invites the younger readers to explore and try different things, to find their position and purpose. The biggest obstacle you will face in pursuing your purpose is those daunting moments of difficulties, pain, and boredom. Greene says you should learn to get into the flow, and once you experience it, you become addicted and always want to come back for more. Law number 14. We are attracted to numbers and groups. We like losing ourselves into the group energy, but we also have an urgent need to fit in. We like to tell ourselves that we are independent, but we're not. The people around us exert pressure on us, and instead of denying it, we should leverage it. Differences among groups are often exaggerated to create a stronger feeling for everybody, aka the group feeling. Law number 15, the law of fickleness. The Laws of Human Nature is a great book, and in this chapter on leadership stood out for the quality of its psychological dissertation on leadership. Leadership is always built on dichotomies, says Greene. On one side, we have the people that want to be leads and they look up towards a strong, great leader. But at the same time, they resent him. They resent his position, the power he has, and power he has over them. People in power see through only the smiles, and they mistake it for unending approval. When they make a mistake and people will clamoring for their head, they are taken by surprise. They shouldn't. It's just a normal release of aggression and pent-up resentment that is channeled against the leader. The law of aggression. Our culture, civilization, and society tends to repress our most aggressive instincts, but we all have it. It's made us the apex predator on the earth. Instead of repressing, we should use our aggression. Also because if you don't, you will be run over by those who do. Aggressive people tend to obsess over objects or people, which is a sign that they want to swallow them whole. Also notice the physical obsession, like anger in being overtaken or always wanted to be in the front and the center. In case this happens, fight the aggressive types indirectly and avoid a fight with them which makes them feel like they are in control. When they are not in control, that's their biggest fear. Law number 17, law of general phobia. Ibn Khaldun was the first who came up with the idea of generations and the generation cycles. Every generation has its spirit, its particularities. Like individuals, they will also have their shadows and repressed yearnings. Often, like an individual, they swing in the opposite direction, most repressed feelings. The generation you are born in shapes the way you are. It presents their own unique opportunities for you. Greene recommends you don't go complete against the grain. You will end up isolated and troubled. Instead of bucking the trend, the best instead to redirect your flaw of your generation. So help other people. The law of death denial. We all try to avoid thoughts of death, but it's a mistake. Death is there, whatever you like it or not. And to echo the sentiment across the laws of human nature, Greene invites the readers to use and leverage reality rather than trying to fight, forget, or deny it. Meditate on your death so you will make the most out of your time, instilling a sense of urgency on your purpose and goals. This was Laws of Human Nature by ROWDY. Thank you very much.